So exactly, because we're saying, like, look, in fact, I've said we're going to make mistakes. We're not going to be perfect. So if we make a mistake, we'll quickly fix it. So we'll we need to act fast. So stop wasting billions of dollars of taxpayer money. But if we make a mistake, we'll reverse it quickly.
Right.
So
there's also this interesting narrative that you shouldn't have access to this Social Security information, as if no one's had access to it before, as if the Biden administration in 2023 there was like 53 people, some of them were students, that had access to all this stuff.
Yeah. As it is, there are tens of thousands of federal employees that have access to, already to the system. Anyone from DOJ has to go through the same vetting process that those federal employees went through. So it's not like some unvetted random situation. If, for example, there's a security clearance needed, the DOJ person has to have that same security clearance. So there's no reduction in security. But I mean, obviously the vast numbers of Social Security numbers have leaked onto the internet. People have hacked the government systems multiple times. Vast amounts of public information has been hacked and dumped onto the internet. So, I mean, there's a guy at the IRS that leaked 500,000 tax returns just a few years ago.
On purpose?
Yeah.
For what reason?
For political, he wanted to. I think he was trying to get at Trump and maybe me and a few others. But he stole like 500,000 tax returns. Yeah, like not a few, like it's a lot of tax returns.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that story.
You can just read about it online. It's a real thing.
So these are the narratives. That's the narrative that you shouldn't have access to Social Security. The other narrative is that starving people are going to die and women aren't going to be pregnant and not have nutrients for their babies, and that's all you're hearing. And
well, that's the only thing they can say, but they can't point to the line item,
right?
And so they can't say like, well, this is the thing where, the nutrients for pregnant mothers were stopped. They can't point to that because we didn't.
Right.
Is a lie.
What's fascinating to me is how much the mainstream media is in line with the very specific talking points, and how little you'll have Fox News. You essentially have Fox News on television. It's like the only one that is pointing out the ridiculous fraud and waste. And I know you saw the Jeff Bezos thing in the Washington Post. They're going to stop all the wacky editorials and limit that stuff to, I think it was wealth and personal freedom or something along those lines.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I think there's kind of, I think it makes sense because he's just talking about the things, not the sort of, he's just talking about the opinions.
Opinion pieces.
The opinion pieces, yeah. So the regular journalism stays the same. So.
Well, it's a detriment to their business. I mean, you're seeing over and over again people that they don't want to hear all this shit from these people anymore. It's like you're saying, it's almost like you're caught in an outdated version of the virus, and everybody else already has the immunity to that virus. Like this is, like you need a new mind virus. The one that you're pushing, it's like it doesn't work anymore. It's too crazy.
Yeah, the whole thing's very crazy. The media is incredibly partisan. I mean, they're not. Almost all the media is, left shifted.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird if you talk to somebody who gets all their information from like what I call legacy media. They're living in a different world.
Yeah.
Than if they say are listening to your podcast or getting news from X or just. It's kind of wild. Like
it is very wild.
Like you talked, it's like they're living in an alternate reality.
Oh, there's a lot of people that I talk to that I have to go, where did you hear that?
Yeah,
yeah.
But I mean, like the Associated Press, which I call Associated Propaganda, the AP. They ran a international news story saying that DOJ fired air traffic controllers but we didn't fire any air traffic controllers at all. In fact, we're trying to hire air traffic controllers, not fire them.
Yeah, I saw that. You made a tweet about it, right?
Yeah.
What do you call it now? Do you call it a post?
Post, yeah, whatever.
You can't call it a tweet, though. Do you call it a tweet accidentally
I'll call it
ever?
post. I don't know. Listen to but like if one, like, let's say if somebody puts up like an 2-hour long video, that's not a tweet.
Right. It's a post.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, but I'm not hard over if people still want to call it a tweet, whatever.
But you put a post about it, just to get back to it, saying that we need highly qualified air traffic controllers. If you've retired, if you would consider doing it again, we could use you. Yes.
So a lot of really qualified air traffic controllers were pushed out because of DEI stuff. So, I mean, not to be blunt, I mean, a bunch of really good, talented old white guys were pushed out. It's not cool. And so there's a talent shortage in air traffic control because of DEI and not hiring people on merit,
Which is so crazy that worked.
I think we should not put the public safety at risk.
No.
Because of some demented philosophy.
Somebody made a post today about it infiltrating the NSA. Did you see any of that?
That was
crazy.
Some gnarly stuff.
Yeah, crazy. What they had, it started off as just like this sort of fringe thing, and people would meet up. Then it completely infiltrated the organization.
Yeah,
and they were spending all their time.
It was like 400 people or something, and some sex chat room with like some extremely demented stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I know I saved it. I'll send it to you, Jamie, because it's so kooky. You what? This is the NSA. I thought the NSA was just all about like information and.
We're supposed to
business.
Like spy on, like if so there's a national threat or something.
Yeah, I think this is exactly it. So more than 100 intelligence staffers will be fired over sexually explicit texts in NSA chat rooms, Gabbard says. So top intelligence official told Waters that the workers in question were brazen in using an NSA platform intended for professional use to conduct this kind of really, really horrific behavior. What is the behavior? What is it? Do they say in this article?
Yeah. I think they were also...
Okay, it says employees who participate in the NSA's obscene, pornographic, and sexually explicit chat rooms.
Your tax dollars at work.
Well, it was all like it was all like LGBTQ stuff. There was a lot of like transition stuff, and
yeah,
I know I definitely saved it, but point is, it infiltrated the organization.
It's not what they should be talking about
at all. Yeah,
it's supposed to be protecting the country,
right?
Yeah.
And people were talking about how they're spending half their time in these meetings, and that they're just like constantly having to attend these things where they talk about these issues. Like, what are you doing? Like, if you have a problem with someone that's discriminatory, get rid of that person. That's it.
Yes.
It's problem's over. You've got someone who's homophobic in your business. They're openly homophobic. Yeah, you can't work here. That's not cool. That's it. You don't have to have fucking meetings constantly promoting this. You're not going to change someone's opinion by berating them over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, a work environment should be a professional environment where they're getting the job done that they're being paid to do. It should be.
Of course,
it's obviously not supposed to be sort of getting paid for bizarre sexcapades.
It's just so fascinating that the virus is so strong that it made it into the NSA.
Yes,
and you would think those are some hardcore.
And the CIA too. I believe the CIA was in there too.
Yeah, they were in there too, which is bananas. You would think same thing, like hard-nosed, tough people doing hard work
who can spy on you whenever they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
And get revenge on you whenever they want.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Yeah.
And, they exist when the president leaves. They stay. People move around. You stay a part of the organization for your entire career. You get deeply entrenched in their system and how things work and who's back to rub and who's a bad guy, who's a good guy, who's on our side, who's not.
Yeah. It's scary, actually.
Yeah.
So,
Was that what's taken so long with this Epstein files?
yeah, what's up with that?
What is up with that? It was like
Yeah.
it's like Lucy and the football with Charlie Brown when she always pulls that football away. It's the same thing. It's like they keep telling us they're going to release
Yeah.
it day one. Oh,
Yeah,
day
we have
one.
a serious case of no one's being arrested ophobia, you know.
Well, there's also right.
Like, what the fuck's going on?
What the fuck is going on? Also, there's this real fear that someone's destroying the evidence, and you keep hearing these stories, unsubstantiated stories,
Yeah.
of FBI
Well,
people
where is
shredding.
the evidence? I mean, the guy
what's
had
going
like
on?
tons of videos and recordings.
Yeah,
I mean, he had all sorts of things.
right,
Like, there's a mountain of evidence.
right.
So where's that mountain?
Yeah, where is that mountain? And what would be the reason why they would agree? Like, there would have to be something in it for them to agree to not put it out, right? Like, there has to be some sort of financial entanglement, some sort of relationship with the people that are on that list.
Yeah.
That they can provide a value that was big enough for you to not release it or to slow release it or to hope you can get away with like putting out some redacted files that don't show anything.
Yeah.